Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. Today, we're talking with an entrepreneur, author, and business coach who helps people structure their companies the right way, get business funding, execute the right marketing strategy, increase revenue, and increase the value of their business. And those are just a few of the things he does. And he's also going to share how he helps businesses find $10,000 in just 45 minutes. Of course, he finds a lot more money than that, but this is only the start, guys. I'm Tanya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding.
And I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client before I became a partner in the company. We're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. And we do Be Bold podcasts to help people just like yourself be more just like this guest we're fixing to talk about and be bold in putting themselves out there and growing their business.
Yep. Our guest today is Krishna Mohan. He is an entrepreneur, business coach, speaker, and #1 best-selling author. He's been interviewed on Fox TV and multiple media outlets and is the president of, I love this name, Genius Visionary.
Yep.
He's managing partner of Capital Streets Investments, LLP, and the Gifting Boutique. Over the last 24 years, Krishna has helped 3 Fortune 500 companies and several startups, focusing on sales, business development, and finance. His management style has been described as decisive and motivational, where success comes from a focused commitment to developing new business, cultivating relationships, training salespeople, and creating growth strategies. He's also a recipient of Global Visionary Award in 2020 from Vision World Academy. Krishna, welcome to Be Bold Branding.
Thank you. That's a great introduction. Thank you for both of you guys. I'm honored to be part of your show today.
We're very excited about it because we know that you have so much. Like there is 100 different ways that we could go about this interview to try to get our listeners as much of your knowledge as possible. We're going to try to pare that down to some very important ones. But just so you guys know right off the bat, like we're not even scratching the surface of what he can bring to the table in his business knowledge. But let's jump in there and let's delve and see where it goes. All right. You want to tell us maybe a little bit about you, how you got started in your profession as a business coach and consultant, especially like what was your inspirations?
Yeah, so I come from corporate background. I worked for 3 Fortune 500 companies and worked in several management roles, sales, business development, middle-level management, and senior-level management, managed global partners, global clients, worked in about 10 different industries. Through that process, I observed that many things don't work with these large companies, and they also observed what works and why they work. What are the things that they're doing it right, and what are the things which, from my perspective, are not working and that they did not do well. I have an opinion. I learned the hard way. Some of them, they took it. Some of them, they did not take it because of the bureaucracy and things like that. And then I transitioned from there to, smaller companies, startups, growth companies, technology companies. And then I realized different problems. And then I also realized their failure rate is extremely high, the small mom and pop companies and all that. So then at some point I realized that I have to increase my knowledge in terms of finance, accounting, marketing, operations, people management, all the blind spots that a typical frontline manager would not see. You do your best to the best of your knowledge and your abilities, and you work hard. But we miss in life because of the blind spots that they're out there, but we can't see, including taxes. And then I spend enough time on educating myself. And then at some point, I realized that why not I start a company, identifying these critical problems, and then finding some solutions around those problems. And those solutions are nothing but our offerings. then there is a clear market for that. You know your customer, you know what you're offering, you know that there is a genuine need for that solution. And that's how I started Genius Visionary as a management consulting firm, helping larger organizations on many areas, you know, like valuations, due diligence, entity structuring, market expansion, growth, M&A advisory, M&A consulting. And for smaller organizations, we started business coaching practice, which is targeted towards revenue growth strategies, clearly results driven, and then funding and financing strategies, setting up business credit for business based on EIN. So we separate the business owner using their FICO and collateral. Try to bring all these things to the table, and that's how I got into the consulting world, and then started my own real estate company because of excellent advantages on taxes and all good things. I see so many opportunities out there, so many vehicles within the real estate to reach those goals. You could pick one or two, you don't need to be master in everything. You can be picking up one or two areas and then really do very, very well. So I'm a land investor. We used to do a lot of things on owner financing. We did the multifamily, within the real estate stuff. I'm still into real estate. And then I have my other retail brand just because I'm passionate about dealing with customers, interacting with them, understanding them. Again, you may solve a problem by giving them what they want, the right product. A lot of fulfillment in dealing with customers. So, and then also it's a hedging strategy. Let's say you're heading to inflation, you need to have an alternative way to hedge yourself. There's a currency risk, there's an inflation risk, there's all kinds of problems. But if you're stuck yourself with one set of business model, then what if the economy is against that model? So then if you have an alternative, then if you have other hedging ways, then you are protected. If one thing is not doing, something else is doing well. Something else is not doing, something else doing well. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. That's just a brief overview about my background.
That's great.
Well, I love every bit of it, and I agree with so much of what you're talking about, especially even that last part. About different revenue streams or and ways to hedge, because at some point, especially in real estate, some things don't do great, but other things are working. Right? It's not but if you focus just on one thing, a lot of times, then you can miss that boat.
Yeah. Sometimes, as we know, all of us as investors, right? You can be equity rich and cash poor. We see this all the time. Then you may have tremendous amount of cash flow, but you're not building any assets. So once you have that idea, then you'll be strategic about planning yourself, and then
about building both.
But positioning yourself for the long-term success. It's a long-term game, right? So one need to be aware of that.
Yep. Very good.
You just painted a beautiful picture of a visionary, right? Because I can picture you standing back and being able to see all of the angles, the whole 360 ecosystem and vision of things, and seeing where the pitfalls are, where the loopholes are, all of those kind of things. And we think alike in that regard, because when we look at personal brands, a lot of people might think, well, you've got a photo, a logo, and a tagline. That's good. You've got a personal brand, right? That's not it at all. We actually look at 77 different criteria when we consider a personal brand, including what could go wrong.
Yeah.
So I love your concept. I love the whole visionary, and Genius Visionary describes it so well.
Oh, it
really does. Yeah. So kudos to you and your personal brand, and describing yourself and having that company name that actually describes who you are, first of all.
Thank you.
Now you have 3 books that you have out. One is a #1 bestseller on Amazon, happens to hit the heart of a lot of our customers in the real estate world. It's called Elite Real Estate Professionals, the Leaders in the Real Estate Industry. Tell us about what prompted you to write that book.
Yeah, so like every other investor in real estate, I dabbled around everything. You want to be, a real estate rehabber, then you want to do wholesaling, then you want to, get into, lease options, then you want to get into, land, then you want to get into commercial real estate. Everything, everything is great. Everything works. Everything has its own advantages. But to be successful in real estate, what my belief is that one needs to be good at one thing properly. If you are a wholesaler, you better be good at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have your buyers list. You need to have you need to be good at that. And there is money. Now, if you're flipping around all these things and excited about one day I'm doing this, one day I'm doing this, one day I'm doing that, you're not good at anything. You don't do anything. You don't make money. That's what my observation, that there are many people in real estate who don't make money also. What we know is that the people who make money, but we don't know there are many other individuals who are always going from conference to conference to conference to conference, material to material, books to books, and then they have a big library. Almost in all the cases, they don't read anything. I'm also a part of the same thing. I'm nothing.
We're all guilty.
Right.
So, but something frustrated me enough to stop everything and start thinking about it. What is really going on? What is it that I need to do? I need to make money, right? So then I observed that I need to be good at one thing, and then I picked up one thing, did well, and then I picked the other thing, and I'm doing well, and that's all about it. So the book is about bringing people that realization in terms of where they need to really invest their time, how they need to really focus on one thing properly and do it well. Even in today's market, if you take top 20% of the performers who really crush their game, they're not even doing the second thing. They almost do only one thing, and they become like a master in that. And then those are the guys who are actually coaches.
Mm-hmm.
They become so good in that game. They not only invest and make money, they become coaches, they become mentors, they become authors, and then they attract the future investors, the future partners through this process. It's a non-stop wheel. And then everybody keeps wondering, why is he successful? This is the same reason. What they need to understand is there is a lot of hard work behind that. You guys are in marketing, that we call something called push and pull. In life, the guys who are really getting the real deals are the guys who are using pull strategy. They're not in the push marketing.
Agreed.
That's what they're doing it. But why is that? That people who have money will get more money. People who are poor will lose more money. That's a law of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The guys who are getting the deals are always having deals on the table. They're evaluating which one to pick and choose. But we need to get to that place where we are attracting investors, we're attracting deals, where we are in the right market, where we are walking the talk. We're not just talking, So some of these strategies are all covered in the book. And I'm being very frank and very open. I don't hide anything. I'm no fluff guy in real world. I'm very simple person, nothing complicated about it. It's all about results. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you've got two other books that are really also, and again, I mean, we could spend hours talking about, I wish we had the time, but let's keep pushing in a little bit. You've got number 2 is Insider Secret to Build Business Credit and Financing.
Yeah.
And, we talk about, I'm in the real estate business also, and in the brokerage business, and of course with BrandFace, we help entrepreneurs be the face of their business. We talk about these things all the time. Like we run in, and I know you do too, you run into people who don't treat their business, even though they're a one-man shop, as a big business. Like I tell all of my agents and our clients, you want to dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. But you've got to start looking at what your profession as a business, right? Mm-hmm. Does Insider Secret Building Business Credit Finance?
So
talk about that.
You're exactly right. So when you're See, most people, again, from my observation, they want to do something or get into business just to make money. That's such a basic thing. Is that the only reason you get to, and that's why that's the only thing they don't get in many cases.
I agree with that 100%.
Yep. You don't go to school just for grades. You go to school for education.
Right.
That's a great parallel.
So well spoken. That's so true.
Right. So yes, we are all into money. That's fine. But you cannot skip the steps. You start a business, which is an entity. And then you need to figure out what's the right entity for the type of business that you're doing with. So you have to deal with professionals, take their advice, and then set that entity for your success. Yes. I'm starting this business. Yes, after 5 years, my company is going to be $25 million company. If that is true, you better set your shop right today. Don't wait for you to make money and then reset the whole shop.
Agreed.
Right.
So that is the clarity that you need to have on the day one. Also, you need to believe in yourself that you really will make millions. You cannot just fool around, look others and think one day I will become like that. If that guy can make it, I can make it. That's true, but he is working hard. You're just fooling around.
Yes.
You better be sure about yourself first. And if my business goal is to make $2 million in the next 5 years, then let us be clear about that. And then set my entity right, and then build that entity like an entity. So that's what it is based on EIN. So you set your business and then let the business be having a phone number, a website, and legitimately run like a business. And then you actually focus on building business credit, because that's how your bankers, your financiers, and the entire credit world is looking at your business. If you don't do all of those things, they're only looking at you, and you're not good. And they don't like you. So that's why they're not giving money to you.
Agree.
Right.
That's what they don't understand. That's what they don't understand. See, if I may have the best, maybe 800 plus credit, it's okay. But there is only so much they can do for me because I'm not a business. If I'm an entity, and if my credit is, maybe 650, and I have a great PAYDEX score, and then set my business the right way, I will get 10 times more than the guy who has 800 credit score. Most people don't know this.
Right.
Because this is an individual, this is an entity. Entity is treated like Walmart. You may be a mom and pop shop. There's no difference between you, Staples, and Target, or any other company.
Yep.
So that is the process which one needs to go through to get their ideal business credit score, which is separate from individual credit score, which is more specific to your entity one. You have 4 entities, you will have 4 business credits if you do it right way. Imagine that you have $500,000 business credit on one company, and each one of the company, you have $1 million credit line available for you as an individual, including your own personal credit, which is over and above this. Now you tell me, now you give me an excuse that I don't have money to do this deal. Right. You have no excuse in this entire world.
Yep.
Now today you don't even have access to $200,000. Now you say I have all these deals, but I don't have money.
Yep.
So that requires, again, research, patience. It takes about 6 to 9 months to get to that level that I'm talking about. I cannot get PhD in 1 year. I have to go through that 25 years of education or whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
So this is, if you really want to be that multimillionaire, at least you should have 9 months in your life to get this right.
Yep. And there's never a better time to start than today. And that's, I think that's one of the things, we deal in the marketing world. People say, oh, we'll buy your program, but, let me go out and get some business first. And we tell them, no, we're the beginning of you going and getting more business. Like that's
what kind of business do you want?
Right. I mean, you've got to identify these things.
No, we don't have marketing budget, so we cannot spend now. Once we make money, then we get to marketing. Marketing is not some random thing. Without marketing, you can't sell.
Right.
The very reason you're not selling because you don't have no clue about marketing. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So they don't understand, right? So this is, so those are the inside secrets. Just to give an example, if you are an individual, let's say you have an unsecured credit limit of $50,000, I'm just giving an example. And if you're an entity, the same person who has an entity, if he has established business credit, then he will be eligible 10 to 100 times of your personal eligibility. The same bank will be willing to give you 50,000 times 10 or 50 times 10 times 100 as your entitlement for credit. Now you tell me how many deals you want to do.
Right. That is, and people don't like, it is definitely taking the mindset, right, and changing that thought process of what really comes first. You know, putting the horse in front of the cart, literally, not just as a cliche, because it has to be that. And you know, like, I want to ask you about this. Like, okay, the third book is how I find 10,000 in any business within 45 minutes, right? Well, that's like available on your website, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that because I mean, think about this for a second. Like, you know, I'm a real estate agent. I just got my license. I'm just getting started. I just joined a brokerage. There's 200 agents in that brokerage. None of them are doing advertising. They're just hoping that a broker slings them a deal every now and then. They're talking to their friends and family, but yet you could show them how, like, within 45 minutes, I can get you $10,000 that you can put towards your branding, that you can put towards a marketing plan that is going to attract that business, and you can build upon it.
Right.
You want to talk about that some?
Yeah. So the whole concept is that, again, we are talking about across industries. Not necessarily only real estate, financial services, retail, healthcare, or any industry. Basically, first and foremost thing is most businesses have money in their books. Like, for example, if you look at their accounting, if you look at their depreciation schedule, if you look at their tax strategies that they're using, if you even look at their pricing, if I'm selling a product, if I'm selling a service, if I go and look their pricing, most of them are trying to cut down their pricing. They think if I reduce my price, I can sell more. That's not a good strategy. I almost, in all cases, all of my customers force them to increase their prices and then force them to focus on their value.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you provide 10 times value than the price that you're charging, where is the problem with the pricing? First of all, nobody in this world is trying to go and buy anything, is only looking from the price perspective. I want the sandwich, I go for the best sandwich. I'm not looking at the price.
Right.
Okay.
If
I'm
you
not
really need the product or the service.
You look for what you want. You're not looking at pricing as the basis for anything. So that is the whole concept. So you focus more on the value. So once you increase, let's say if your monthly revenues, let's say, is $100,000, right? Given your existing product lines and product mix and the existing price levels, imagine you increase your pricing by 10%. Guess what? Same customers, same volume, same mix. What's your revenue? That's money right there. You haven't changed much. They're not complaining. Why? Because you added value, but you never thought about it like that. Sometimes you have underpriced your product just because you are so focused on your competition, thinking that they're taking your business. Nobody's taking your business. It's only your assumption. Everybody assumes like that. Oh, he's my competition. Why are you focused on it? But there's no competition. You are the guy. You are your competition.
I agree with that.
You better you better have something right with you you cannot be creating a disastrous product looking at others. One day they will kill that.
Right.
Some competitor, a new competitor will come and take away that market if you are building your business that way. That's not the way you build your products. That's not the way you build your service. So one of the way to find the money is through pricing. Other way to find the money is looking at their accounting in terms of how they are, again, structured. The structure has everything to do with the money you keep. Most people don't know. They're always focused on revenue. Oh, I got to make more money. I got to increase my revenue. What they're not understanding is how much are they keeping? What's the best way to keep? How can I increase more to keep with myself? Did you ever have an intelligent conversation with your accountant ever? I don't think anybody's having that intelligent conversation with an accountant because he thinks accountant's job is to keep the books in order. He can do something better than that, but he never tells you because you don't know how to ask.
You don't know how to ask. Agree with
Right.
that.
You just don't know how to speak to him.
Right.
If you know how to ask right questions, he will give the answers. He is not giving it because you're not asking.
Because you're not asking. I agree
Simple.
with that so much.
It's that
And it's,
simple.
love
you know,
this
I
so
tell
far.
people all the time, I'm like, you have to, small business owners and entrepreneurs, that your CPA, you have to pick the right CPA and spend time with them. And most people look at them as like, oh
Once
man,
a year.
I can go to
Yeah.
TurboTax and I do it for $400. I go to this guy, he's going to charge me $1,500. I'm like, yeah, but he's the one that goes to the seminars and talks to the IRS people. Like, he's the one that's not going to get you in an audit. He's the one that's going to protect you if you do get in an audit. Like, you need to spend time with this guy. My CPAs have always been a part of my business model. I go and have lunch with them. I sit down with them because they also deal with other industries and they can also tell you what's going on. They are a wealth of information. Same with your attorneys. I agree with you 100%. People don't ask the right questions.
You need to go and sit with them and ask them, okay, if I'm growing my business by 30% next year, right? What are my tax implications?
Yep.
Right.
Am I going to
okay. Oh, he says, oh, next year your taxes, you got to be ready to pay like an extra $100,000. Okay. Now the next question is, how can I protect that $100,000?
You're right.
Can you give me strategies? Oh, okay. Let me look into it. Then that's a homework for him.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Maybe you got to buy this asset. Maybe you got to increase the spend. Then you got to invest on education. Okay, so then those are all your legitimate reasons for you to protect that money. And
Yes.
if you haven't asked that question, he's not going to tell you. Next thing is you're worried, and then you try to cut corners, and then you're not doing the right things for your business. So
or you get that tax bill and now you're like reeling for like 2 months and you're like, oh my heavens, and that you're not focused on your business, you're not focused on growth, and now you're behind the 8 ball, as they say. And yeah, I agree with that 1,000.
So, I want to invest cash, or should I invest the financing? Well, okay, so it comes with a cost. Okay, so then what are the write-offs? If you have this kind of intelligent conversation, guess what? Especially in real estate, the money is in the books.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much money in the books, but if you understand that, so these are the kind of things that I bring into the table when I do the 45-minute strategy session, and I can quickly find out the money that's within them. They don't need to spend $1 to anybody. They don't need to spend $1 to me. They just need to be aware of what's really going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good starting point. And then we can, extrapolate and take the business to the next level. That's the whole philosophy. Like partnering, for example, you're dealing with multiple other businesses in your line of business. Most likely, they're like complementary services. What you could quickly do is to partner with them. They keep sending referrals, and you crush it. You have captive customers. They have captive customers. It's such a simple thing, like doctor offices. If your doctor refers you to a cardiologist, you're not asking you're not asking your physician, why are you sending me to the guy? You just blindly go to the guy
because he told you. Exactly.
Yeah. You're not questioning. You're not asking his pricing. You're not doing anything. It's the same concept we can implement in any other product, any other service, but we're not doing it. If we do it, it's free. There's no cost.
Right. I love that.
I do too.
I love that thought process. We've got a good friend that talks about an upstream model that talks a lot about that, Justin Stoddard. And because it is, like you said, if you've partnered with somebody else that has a respective captive audience, and they say, here's your real estate agent, or here's your landscaper, or here's your architect, or here's your attorney. Like, it doesn't matter what service you're in or, business that you're in. That's for sure.
And they send your business your way. It's both ways. Both parties benefit.
Yeah, and everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this: tell our listeners, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you? Like, what is the best way? Because I know you wear a lot of great hats, but as far as like the business coaching, and what is the best way for them?
I think the best way to reach me is my email, which is krishna@geniusvisionaryinc.com. Again, krishna@geniusvisionaryinc.com. Anybody want to have any kind of conversation, a strategy session, or anything that they want, I can offer them 45-minute sessions for free. Obviously, they can refer the show, and then any which way, if I can help them, I'll be glad to help them.
That's fantastic.
Excellent. Well, we have 5 flash questions to ask you. Okay. And this
Ready.
will help everybody understand, like, how you can help them even more. So, number 1, what sets you apart from other people in your industry doing what you do?
I think I have a real world experience in the work that I'm doing. I've been there, I've done that myself through many settings. And then I have the right kind of education to preach what I practice. So that's
I love
my
it.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who do you serve?
My ideal customers are business owners who are $100,000 to $10 million size business owners who are trying to grow their businesses. If they need help in the funding and financing, if they need help on revenue growth, let's say I'm $5 million company, I want to grow my company to $7 million in the next 12 months, I'm their guy.
Awesome.
All right. And you just answered the next question, which is how do you serve them? So I'll jump to number 4. What qualifies you to serve them?
I have helped hundreds of customers in different industries. I have practical case studies, testimonials, because my offerings are result oriented. Like how I do that is I take it as a 12-month engagement. Anything that I take it as an engagement with the result in mind. It's not an engagement with a time frame. It's an engagement with the end result in mind. My job is to get them to the finish line, not to complete the program.
Love it.
So that it's not only willingness, there is also commitment involved. It's not for everybody. So if you want to become an Olympic champion, it requires a different commitment. This is like that. This is not for somebody who want to just learn football game. I'm not that guy.
I love it. I love it. And this is the fun question, Krishna. How is it going to make their life better? And we know the answer to this, but we'd love to hear you articulate it.
It gives them tremendous amount of fulfillment because they're achieving goals in their own life. They are getting results, which means that they can do other things that they want to always do in their life, which is if they have financial freedom, they want to take care of their family, near dear ones, travel, whatnot. And then also do other cool stuff that they always want to do, but they have not been able to do that because they're unable to achieve what they want to achieve. And if I can help them in any which way for them to achieve that goal, all the other things that I'm talking about can be accomplished through this process. And I think that is the most gratifying part of what I do.
I love it. I love it. And I tell everybody one more time, and then we'll put it in the notes, podcast notes also, but what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, best way to reach me is my email, which is krishna@geniusvisionaryinc.com.
That's awesome. We encourage you guys to do that.
Yeah. And I love the brand. I love what you stand for. And this has been a very enlightening interview,
Very
Krishna.
much so.
Thank you so much. So if you guys have questions about your brand or want to learn more about us, head to discussyourbrand.com and we will have a discussion with you and see if we can get you where you deserve to be.
All right, folks, you know why we do this. Be Bold Podcast is all about prosperity. When we say that, we're not just talking about money. That is a portion of it, but it's not all. We really wish for the 360 of an abundant life that we want for every one of y'all. We know here at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we always say be bold, folks, especially with your brand, especially in 2021. Thank you, Ms. Tanya, and thank you, Krishna. We appreciate your intellect, and we encourage our listeners to please reach out to him and learn more.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time on Be Bold Branding.